Quiet guy.
Would you all join me in an attitude of prayer? Dear Lord, thank you for this day. We ask that you bless this county board and make decisions that reflect your grace. Please help those who are struggling every day. We ask that you help us to remember all of those who have served in the military, especially those who paid the ultimate price. Please grant peace to the family of Steve Lancaster who departed last week. In these things we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Karen Breathauer.
Here.
Butch Hurst.
Here.
Pam Lancaster, not present. Gary Quant.
Here.
Ron Peterson.
Here.
Jane Richardson. Here. Scott Sorensen.
Notice of the open meeting law. This is a public meeting subject to the open meeting laws of the state of Nebraska. Requirements for an open meeting are posted on the door to my left, and notices are on the front table for your information. Request to reserve time. If anyone in the audience has a request to reserve time on a specific agenda item, please come forward at this time. Seeing none, we have verified the affidavit of publication. I would note that we don't necessarily take things in the order they're on the agenda. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that Pam is not here today, and it was mentioned in the prayer. Our thoughts and prayers are with her and her family. Also with the family of Bo Bruning, who is the site manager for Chief on our construction project, whose family lost their home over the weekend in the tornado. So we always think we have things that are issues that are troubling us in life, and we don't realize how lucky we are. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the May 5th, 2026 meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes of the May 5th, 2026 meeting along with the following consent agenda items. Number 7A, under Public Works, discussion and possible action to approve the change order for project C40, parentheses 565. It was a decrease of $62,000. 8A, under Facilities, set a public hearing for June 16th, 2026 for the new conditional use permit for KGI Wireless, Verizon Wireless at 1660 West Lapine Road, Doniphan. Number 11, discussion and possible action to authorize the chair to sign a letter of agreement with Region 3 Behavioral Health Services for the 2728 parentheses EPC Emergency Protected Custody Agreement. Number 15, discussion and possible action to approve the recommendation from the Visitors Promotion Committee to appoint 2 new committee members, Todd McCoy and Carla Gines, for the term of January 2026 to December 2029. Number 16, discussion and possible action to lower the claim number 26050043 by $542.48 and refer to the county attorney for clarification pending the receipt of the corrected supporting documentation. Number 17, discussion and possible action to approve the 2026-27 budget items. B, approve the 26-27 request from Mid-Nebraska Individual Services. C, approve the 26-27 request from Regional 3 Behavioral Health Services. E, approve the 26-27 request from the District Health Department. F, approve 26-27 request from the Grand Island Area Economic Development Corporation. Number 18, regional planning, discussion and possible action to approve and authorize the chair to sign the plats for A, the Prairie Farm subdivision, and B, the Rickards second subdivision. 19A, county clerk, discussion and possible action to approve the special designated liquor license for Coast Brewing LLC doing business as First Street Brewing Company for an event June 27th, 2026 at the Crane Trust Nature and Visitor Center, and authorize the board chair to sign. 19B, discussion and possible action to approve the SDLs for B&D Management doing business as the Bunkhouse Sports Bar and Grill for events at Prairie Creek Barn on June 6th, June 13th, and June 27th, and June 28th of 2026, and authorize the board chair to sign. C, discussion and possible action to approve the special designated liquor license for the Platte Valley Whooping Crane Maintenance Trust for Crane Trust Nature and Visitor Center for June 5th, 2026, and authorize the board chair to sign. Number 24, discussion or approved by weekly claims. Number 25, approved regular claims. Number 20.
You may want to hold 25 if you're not going to pay for slide.
Okay. We'd like to
Or
hold.
not consent anyway.
Okay. pulled 25 from the consent. Thank you, Kim. Approve 26, the county office reports, the Hall County Assessor's Register of Deeds, April report, Stewart Museum minutes, the county sheriff for March, weed control minutes, the county building inspector. Number 27, the Hall County Treasurer's miscellaneous receipts, and number 28, communications, which are not on file.
I'd like to pull number 13. Not quite ready yet.
And pull 13.
Do we want to pull points in 23?
Yeah, why don't we pull 22 and 23, just
Okay.
because we'll do those
Now
different
pull
day. Yeah.
22, 23.
Okay.
Motion stands as presented.
Okay, we have a motion, a second on the floor. We need a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, the consent agenda items are 7A, 8A, and 11, pull 13, 15, 16, 17B, C, E, and F, 18A, B, 19A, B, and C, pull 22, 24, 26, 27, and 28. Please vote.
All votes are cast. Voting is open. Right here? Okay. I'm sorry, what? Okay. 6 yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, let's,
Thanks. Okay.
I would entertain a motion to go into the Board of Equalization.
I move we go into Board of Equalization with a roll call vote.
Second that.
Karen Brethauer,
Yes.
Butch Hurst, Pam Lancaster, absent, Gary Quant,
Yes.
Ron Peterson,
Yes.
Jane Richardson,
Yes.
Scott Sorensen.
Yes.
Notice of the open meeting law. This is a public meeting subject to the open meeting laws of the state of Nebraska. Requirements for an open meeting are posted on the door to my left, and notices are on the front table for your information. We have verified the affidavit of publication. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the May 6, 2026 meeting of the Board of Equalization.
I move we approve the minutes of the May 6, 2025 meeting.
26.
26, yeah.
26, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, votes are open. Okay, votes are open. 6 yes. What? You haven't voted, Karen.
I have.
Oh, did you?
Oh, I have.
There we go, okay.
She needs to start lifting weights. She can't press hard enough.
Okay, 6 yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, public participation. Commissioners will not be able to take action on non-agenda items under public participation under the Board of Equalization. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address the Board of Equalization under public participation? Seeing none, we will go on to the county assessor.
Morning.
When it's read, it shows that it's open. Okay.
I just need a motion for the board to approve my corrections, 927 to 930.
I move we authorize the chair to sign tax correction notices 927 to 930.
Did I notice that those were Turk decisions? Okay, and those were finalized up to 25, or do they have more Turk on those?
The Walmart and the Sam's Club are just 25.
Okay,
We had spoke with him last year that we would work with him, and he filed a protest today, so we contacted him after he filed.
so
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Votes open.
Votes are open. Six yes votes, motion carried.
Okay. Thanks, Mindy.
Morning.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago, we had Goodwill Industries in Greater Nebraska, they had a new vehicle, it was a 2020 Ford Transit. Their reasoning was for using, the vehicle was being This is a 2018 rock solid cargo trailer. They'll be they will be using the trailer for camps and for church events, and this is also a new purpose. I have approved both exemptions for Nebraska State Statute 77-202, and I'd like to ask the board for a motion to approve these exemptions.
I move the grant the exemptions for Goodwill Industries for 2020 Ford Transit 250 and Abundant Life Christian Center for 2018 Rock Solid Cargo Trailer.
I'll second.
Votes are open. Six yes votes, motion carried.
Okay,
We still need 5 and 6.
still need those? What about 7? Discussion possible action regarding the DMV leased building. Who put that in? Okay.
I just really just don't know what to do. The Nebraska Department of Revenue contacted us and a couple others, wanting financials. We didn't feel comfortable asking for their financials. We had asked Marty or someone in his building to send a letter. And we had not heard back from that. We just got an email yesterday saying the 29th of May is the last day we can take this in front of the board. So that's why I asked Marla if maybe we should just put it on there and put it up for discussion, or, have someone send a letter asking for the financials of the Health Foundation to see if they really should have an exemption on the
My light's not working, but that's okay. I was just gonna say that, I think I read something from the, state auditor.
Yes.
And it was Douglas County, Lancaster County. I don't know if I have it in an email quickly.
There was one other one.
And us, and I think it was Sarpy, Douglas. I can't remember. I'd
There's
have,
4 of them and only 3 are exempt, the other one pays taxes.
okay, but the way I read that, findings from the state auditor on this, I thought that this building is privately owned by a company who is getting TIF financing.
I don't believe he has, or excuse me, they do not have TIF. It's owned by the Health Foundation.
But I think the way it read in that article, if it was owned by a private entity, then we have to collect the taxes so they can go back on the TIF project. Did you read that state findings? Where did
I
I?
know, because I can never look at the articles.
Hang on.
But I don't believe that this one is owned, is a TIF project.
I think it's privately owned.
It is privately owned, but
It's privately owned.
Right, but
But
the Nebraska Department of Motor Vehicles is leasing it. to where
Correct.
If they provide their lease, they can still get exemption on it.
But then the TIF money that we would.
she's saying that it's not TIF.
It's not TIF.
So there was a confusion with the one that was, 2-3 weeks ago, that, the Friendship House was granted an exemption that had TIF, so we had to reverse that one.
Mhm.
But I'm 100% sure this one does not have TIF on it. HELP Foundation.
We should have asked Chad. Chad would have known it. Okay, let's see. I think I found it, but it's gonna be in, okay, it was Hall, Lancaster, Douglas, and Douglas, where it was 2 locations in Omaha. And what did it say?
My light's not working.
The findings.
I have the parcel number if someone wants to look it up.
Hey, Scott,
Yeah,
look
I
at
did
that,
look
and
at it.
I'm gonna keep going on this. Cause I thought the way I read it,
Yeah, does anybody's light work?
no, I don't, my light's not
Brandon's
working.
been doing work down here, so I don't know if they've got something disconnected or.
Okay. Well, I would say for purpose of today, we make a motion to send a letter. If we have to send it by May 29th.
It has to be on the agenda by then,
Yeah,
right?
I did.
Yeah, that's why we
Well,
put it now.
Yeah,
Because I wasn't aware that there was a deadline that this needed to be done by.
The other question would be is, let's assume we don't hear from them. Couldn't we deny their exemption and then they would have to file a protest?
Yes, if we can bring an exemption back to you at any point in time.
Okay, so that, but I think what we need to do is request the information at ASAP.
So is that a motion?
Yeah, this motion, send him a
second.
letter, please.
Any further
From
discussion?
Marty, from Marty's office.
Send
Okay.
letter.
So just for
By the
clarification,
29th.
what are we
No,
sending the
before that.
letter? Just
Before
for
the 29th.
giving direction here. What is our directive? What is the letter supposed to
We
have?
want
in
the
it? We just
financial
want-
information.
We have to, they have to show that they're not making a profit on this.
We need verification that they're a nonprofit with this parcel in
Yes.
particular.
Randy, can you help drop the letter? Maybe one can send it.
Okay,
Oh,
here,
yeah, I'm not really.
here's an article that the Nebraska Auditor of Public Accounts is questioning whether tax exempt status should be granted to the state driver's licensing office in Grand Island, one location in Lincoln and 2 locations in Omaha. The Nebraska Department of Motor Vehicles lease the buildings. The Grand Island location just south of Walmart, and the ribbon cutting for the building was August of '25. The Nebraska Auditor of Public Accounts obtained financial records and other documents from counties based on the income of preliminary planning work, including an analysis of the information obtained by the APA, has determined that a separate financial audit of assertions or assets is necessary at the time, as the counties are audited on an annual basis, according to the March 18th letter from the APA's office. The letter is a 20-page long. The APA is noted for certain issues that merits correction action. Department of Motor Vehicle leases for the buildings are tied to 2 organizations, Help Foundation of Omaha and charitable non-profit entity, which is the White Lotus Group, a real estate-based developer out of Omaha. According to the Hull County GPS website, the owner of the property is the NEDMVGI LLC. The Help Foundation describes it as a mission follows. The Foundation of Omaha is a nonprofit organization with noble cause. We believe that we have all innate social responsibility to help others, especially those who may not have fallen on hard times or underserved. We aim to understand those individuals' needs through compassion and sensitivity in order to enable them to achieve a better life. Our mission is to link this process, providing health care and let's see, the White Lotus Group Secretary of State website lists all of the above. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Where is it saying? Okay. Shortly after the construction started, Hull County Driver's Licensing Foundation reserved. I'm not sure if it is. Prove that. Review.
Why don't we provide that information to Marty and see if we
Yeah,
can?
see if we can.
Yeah.
For July and
Yeah.
September. Huh.
Okay, did we vote?
Voting is open.
Okay, the voting is open.
Voting
Voting
is
is
open,
open.
sorry.
Send the letter.
Okay, send a letter. Let's send a letter, see what we can find out.
Okay.
Because the state auditor,
Thank you.
I wonder if I can forward this.
6 yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, we will handle the closed session at the end of the both meetings. So we will recess out of the Board of Equalization and go back into the Board of Commissioners. Under Board of Commissioners, public participation, commissioners will not be able to take action on non-agenda items. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address the Board of Commissioners under public participation? Seeing none, we will go on to Public Works. We did approve A on the consent agenda.
Morning.
Just have an update.
As we speak, we started some work on the Wood River Road, east of Wood River, to get into the city's grade out. We're starting to clear out on Highway 30. And as we progress, we just had to keep moving all the way. We're removing about 2 foot of dirt to get it to drain. That matches up with their flood drain project. And Brian from Pintail is coming in a little bit to talk to the board, give us an update on how, I said, told him it'd be about 9:30, so he may be here in a little bit. Out on Gunther Road, a subdivision, I talked to him about putting in a center turn lane for that subdivision. They're wanting to, there's a 40-acre lot out there that they're wanting to develop. And that's one of those, Gunther is a very, it's a pretty busy road, plus heavy traffic because of the gravel pits. So that's something that he was going to go talk to the developers and everything and get back to us.
So who pays for that?
That's what I'm talking to them.
Oh, okay.
Why, the center turn lane, that's something we talked about. I said, we could live with, if they widen out the south shoulder and the north shoulder, instead of tearing it clear out, a mile north of City May and removing the big road. And I said, I don't think that's necessary. We just redid that road Gunther not very long ago, and it's very good asphalt. So we could live with putting, adhesion on, and it would, I told them I preferred concrete adhesion on both sides to give us a bigger lane, and it would go past the entire subdivision. They do have one hard surface road at the east end, and the other one, the fire department did request that they put another road in for access, and it only has to be gravel. So they have addressed some of the stuff. It went before
Planning Commission.
the planning commission and everything, so that's what, talked with Brian, and I said, I don't think we'll have any problem working with them. That's something that he'll be here in a little bit. We'll talk to you later on, he'll give you an update on what they found out when we talked to the developer.
And I'm just gonna bounce off of Dawn here. This was the SID project, the SID that we gave bonding for, probably about a year ago. They came to the county and asked so that they could get our bond, so that they could get cheaper financing for that area. And so when it came before the planning commission, we hadn't had anything on this road, and it's a narrow road on Gunther, and I was like, hey, you gotta come to us. And it is in the 2-mile jurisdiction, but it still affects our county roads. And we had no funding, and this was not in our radar at all. We had not been notified. So when it comes to a county road, we need some other clarification if they're going to do something.
Okay, when he shows up, we'll see if we can slip in.
Okay,
We got one.
all right.
Got one question here, Dan.
Huh, okay.
Got a call yesterday, and there's a couple individuals, when we did the Witches Bridge out there, I think they said they called you. But the Witches Bridge, we widened out the road, I guess, and now it's basically an interstate to the Platte River. And I guess they're going out there and they're jeeping or whatever.
We have not widened out the road.
Well, I got a call yesterday, and they were said that there's a lot more traffic there now, and they're going to the river, and it's causing problems, and they were wondering if we could do something.
I talked to the one landowner on the north side, he was speaking for the landowner on the south side. I said, he needs to call the road department and talk to us about it. So they can put fences on their property out at 33 feet. That's one thing we have went through, no fences can be inside of that. I said, we can work with it, but I said, he needs to let us know too. But if not, I was out there because we had some graffiti on the bridge. Gotta address how we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna paint it ourselves too. But as far as them going in and out, I said we'd address it, but I said we're not driving steel I-beams and putting a cable in the way. I said you can't put that in the lateral opposite the clearance. I said if you put something there, it needs to be like a guardrail. But I have not heard from the landowner. It's on the south side. That's what he was talking about, the south side, not the north side.
Okay.
So I told him to have that landowner call him and get in touch with me and talk to me about what he's thinking.
Okay, sounds good. He said he talked to you, so I didn't know.
Okay,
Thank you.
Dune? Why don't you give us an update, and then it'll be about time for the bid opening.
Over the past couple of weeks, I've had a meeting with the county judges, and next week I have a meeting with the district judges about furniture for the new courtrooms, courthouses. It was an interesting meeting. I was able to find jury chairs that they had requested. I contacted Carney, facilities director, and he's looking for the chairs that they want for the jury box. They're for sale at a reasonable price. We'll have to go to Amazon to get them though. One thing we learned about some of the furniture that might have been able to move over is the new offices aren't as big as some of the old offices, so the furniture is not going to be big because ADA that would require so many feet to get around. So that limited us on moving some furniture over, and so we're having to buy new furniture for some of those offices. I don't know the price yet. I spoke with the lady yesterday. I was at her office for about a half an hour yesterday going over some things. And, she's gonna put a quote together that'll have each office quoted separately and for us. I have to get her some more information about the building so that she can see more a little bit better, to organize colors and stuff like the color board over there that we decided, that the board decided to use for color codes and stuff on the building. Got that taken care of. So that's the biggest thing I've taken care of this past week, other than, building, the new building is, the windows are gonna be delivered this week, and they're gonna start installing the windows of the new building. I can see her working higher on putting the, sheeting up on the outside of the building. I'm kind of excited to see the windows a little bit, to see how they fit. I don't have any idea what they look like, but I wanna make sure that the windows fit good. I'm sure they do too, but we'll just make sure that happens. They have extended a walkway to the new build, to the old building on the second, third levels on the east side and the center. And in a couple of months, they'll be attaching that to the building. But they've got pour a slab over to it yet, to get a little bit closer so that no one can get through. But they have done that. They've cut away the, limestone where the buildings are gonna connect with some of the brick. So that's done. There's quite a bit of repair work there on that. That kind of thing. As far as park goes, we haven't had a lot of business yet. I think it's early in the year out there at the park. But it's ready to go. The storm didn't hurt, this past weekend didn't hurt the flowers that they planted out there. That's doing well, those are doing well yet. We had one big limb down, we didn't have much tree damage, which is fortunate. So that's really well. The hail didn't do much, if any damage out there, besides hail. Damage and things like that. Knocked a lot of leaves off the trees, but helped about it. Any questions on anything?
Yeah, I think we're ready for the bid opening, if you're ready.
Dean, are you comfortable opening bids if we have one bid?
Yes, I am, and I'll tell you why. I contacted Mid Plains, I contacted, Eugero Construction, and Mid Plains said they were gonna bid on it, and they chose not to bid on it. They didn't have time to do it. Eugero couldn't find enough people to work for him to do the job. But he wanted to bid on it, and I opened it up, and that was, no one else was showing interest.
Okay. I'd make a motion that we open bids for the repairs on the handicap ramp that they have been building.
Second.
Voting is open. 6 yes votes, motion carried. And we received one bid from Diamond Engineering. And looks like they did not include a bid bond. Okay, total lump sum bid, $85,850.
Do you have completion date or anything?
What?
Completion date or start date or anything?
Let me see. No, there wasn't anything, no, there was no note for a completion date that I can see.
So is that new railing or?
Well, we did it, I don't know, I have to look at this. But they were gonna, it says in the specs, you can take the old railing, sandblast it.
I'd
We
say,
accept the bid and refer it to the building grounds superintendent.
Second?
Voting is open if you want a motion to refer the bids.
Gary
Scott
did.
and Gary, thank you. All votes are cast. 6 yes votes. 6. Okay. 6
too
yes
bad
votes,
Mellon
motion
out there.
carried.
We approved on consent the appointment of those two people. I think there's no reason for him to be out there. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Your name again? This Brian Denzel?
Yeah, yeah.
Engineering. What did we find out from here?
Yeah, so we're talking about the Gunther SID development off, south side of Gunther Road, west of 281. Assuming everybody's familiar with that. So Karen had mentioned in the city planning commission meeting that the county's concerned about turn lane improvements on Gunther Road. Dawn and I talked last week about, kind of what kind of plan of attack we want to have for any potential future turn lanes on Gunther Road. Dawn, correct me if I'm wrong, but you mentioned at a minimum you'd like to have the plans done for turn lanes kind of sooner rather than later, so maybe the next year or so we have the turn lane plans completed. And then maybe within like the next 5 years, depending on how the development goes, we get the turn lanes installed. And so the one thing I mentioned, Don, we just don't know exactly what's gonna all go in at this development at this time. The one thing we do know is that there will be a hotel. But aside from that, we don't know, how fast the rest of the development's gonna get built out. I talked to the developer and they would agree to do all that. So they would agree to do the turn lane plans now or relatively soon, and within the next 5 years, get the turn lane built at the developer's expense. Don and I talked about the turn lanes being, basically asphalt extensions on the existing road, so it's concrete extensions on the asphalt. We're not gonna rebuild the whole entire intersection, we would basically just widen the existing road, to get the turn lanes built. And it would be just on Gunther Road, nothing on 281. So, it seems like everybody's in agreement with that. I don't know if there's anything more you need from me or the developer at this time.
I think the clarification on who was responsible for it was probably the biggest question.
Okay.
With the developer taking on that role, I think that cleared things up a lot for me.
And can we have that kind of in writing?
Yeah, what, you just need, what do you, I guess, is there anything, I'm not
You know,
aware, so I don't
just-
know what.
Yeah, I just think that we need something in writing so that, when this develops, because
Yep.
5 years, they say that new hotel is gonna be starting leveling this summer, and
Yeah,
probably.
the development, the infrastructure for the development is this summer, and then the hotel, I think, is in 27,
Okay,
and that would start.
okay.
Yeah, so.
I would recommend, when they start developing, to get the turn lane, probably start on that fairly soon too. When
Is-
they
I don't-
get ready to open up
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
When they get ready to open that up, I think that's something that you should have. When they start opening up for business, about, you should have to turn right in then,
Yeah.
when they open up too.
And I don't wanna overpromise anything, but I could see, you know, they'll probably get their best bang for the buck if they just build the turn lane and they build the rest of the roads for development. So I can see that happening, I just don't wanna promise that, cause I don't know what the developer's exact intent is there, so.
That makes sense.
Well, we just want something in writing that they're going to take that responsibility on because we really don't have any funding.
Okay.
I mean-
I'll start with an email, I guess, and kinda get a written email in writing, and then if you guys want something in addition to that, maybe just let us know, and we'll just work through that,
Yeah.
if that sounds all right.
Because otherwise, you know, like, the culvert permits, the driveway permits and stuff like that, you know, we have to permit that, and we'd want to have those or the widening done before we start permitting those driveway permits.
Okay.
Cause that will make a difference, you know, how they come up to the driveway.
Yeah.
We probably need to expand it before they even come up, otherwise we're gonna have to cut the driveway.
So we should have that all taken care of with design, right, so we'll know where it's.
Okay, all right,
And
thank you.
maybe in writing that they'll have this improvement when the hotel opens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
all right,
Thanks for
thank
your
you.
time.
Karen, can I just have the email sent to you, is that okay?
Oh, just, you can send it to the whole board. Send it
Okay,
to me and
I'll
I'll
send
send
it
it
to
to
you
the whole
and
board.
distribute it, okay.
Yep, sounds
Okay.
good.
All right, John Roseland,
Morning.
waiting patiently there.
So the agreement before you is an agreement with the state of Nebraska's Office of the CIO as well as NPPD. As you know, they are the two partners that own and operate the statewide radio system. They own all the towers and infrastructure statewide. What this does is share towers. So the two towers that we built here in Hall County, one at City Hall, the other at the Outer Tower site, those will be joined together with the statewide radio system. That way our SRS radio users can roam for free on state towers, and state troopers and other state resources in Hall County can roam on our towers, which is actually a really big benefit for both of us. For us, because that allows us to take our radios really anywhere in the state and operate freely as if we were at home. For the state of Nebraska, it helps them. Their closest tower here is in Gilmer, and there are times when portable radio coverage for a trooper or someone out in the field can be pretty spotty in Hall County. That won't be the case now that once we have this agreement. So it's a really great benefit for both the state and NPD and us. So the same agreement will be sent over to the city. They'll sign it as well, and then that'll finalize all the agreements for tower sharing.
That sounds great, John. Is there any word on potentially sharing with neighboring counties at all once we get our next gen system up and running?
Yeah, I talked with Buffalo County Sheriff, and he said, we don't need a separate agreement with them to share, because once we share our towers with the state, it's under that blanket agreement, so all shared towers are shared. So that's the nice thing, is I don't need to have an agreement with neighbors once they build their systems, or those that have already built them. We'll all be part of the same big family, now that we have this one agreement.
Very good. I'd be happy to make a motion that we approve the interlocal agreement for the land mobile radio asset
I just have
sharing.
a quick
So-
question. Do you see any costs associated with this?
I'll second that.
It didn't say anything.
Correct, no, there's no cost involved.
Just our cost
simply-
for putting the infrastructure in.
Yeah, everybody owns and operates their own infrastructure, and we're just responsible to maintain our own, and they'll maintain theirs. Thank you.
Motion and second.
Votes are open. Six yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, all right. Casey? Good morning. Go ahead.
Nothing has really changed from last year. Our current funding level for the annual membership is still at $10,880. And our
happy to make a motion that we approve the funding, which is the same as last year for the Midland Area Engagement Agency.
I did have one question. You know, like our transit, if we raise our rates, we've talked about that in our meetings, then basically it fluctuates the money that we get from the state. Okay, so, at the Grand Generation Center, when the county put in the 70,000, did that hurt any funding that we got from Midlands? It doesn't work that way. Okay, that's what I wanted to question. Thank you.
Okay, votes are open.
Yes.
Okay.
Six yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, thank you.
Casey, while we got you, out of curiosity with the transit portion of Midlands, I guess have you guys seen your budget allocation be adjusted significantly here in the last month? Okay. I didn't know if you'd be open to sticking around for the conversation with Bob here. I'm assuming we're gonna have with Mr. McFarland. Yeah, in general, it just looks like it's gonna be interesting, and if you have any information you care to share, we welcome that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we'll handle that next. Mr. McFarland.
Did you guys get the packets?
Yeah, we got information about, I think, in our packets.
Oh, I wish I had good news our budget. Next fiscal year. NDOT has notified all 5311 transit providers of a reduction in available funds for fiscal year 26-27. Their letter states that it's approximately a 21% reduction. However, in all county states, it's actually a 27.1% reduction in federal and state grant money. The grant amount allocated to Hall County represents approximately 9 months of operating revenue based on our actual expenses for 25-26. Any cost beyond that amount would be the responsibility of Hall County. And based on our actual costs in the first 20 months of 26-27, assuming no inflation, and we know that that's not the case, especially with fuel, that additional cost to the county would be $67,256 over and above the existing local match of $31,275 for a total cost to the county of $98,531. So that's where we're at.
And how many people did you haul last year? How many rides?
We had, got it here somewhere.
Comes out to an average, Gary, of about $20 of local funding for a single ride. And the actual cost for all the rides is close to like $120 per ride.
The
It's
total
crazy.
cost per rider, last year we had 1,838, excuse me, for the first 10 months of this year, we've had 1,838 passengers. The cost per rider is $147.35. The county is $19.08, federal government is $109.19, and the state is $19.04.
In case, just for reference, Midland is probably somewhere around that 80 to 100 on average. We do. For a cost per ride, I can't remember what we had penciled about a year ago, but I remember doing some penciling about a year ago, and it was anywhere from 80 to 110. This is not an isolated case, I guess is what I wanted to say, but it's definitely crazy what it does cost to help people get moved around.
And I might add, if their cost is 80 to 100, the reason it's so much less is because they're doing city traffic also, or rural only.
I think it's more Medicaid stuff.
Casey, you wanna come up here by the mic, so?
It's mostly rule of law, but they do a lot of Medicaid stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
We're in the same situation, having to get budgets everywhere. I think the cost is gonna have to go to the county or that service.
If we were to cut service on the work, it'd be take 2 days a week off or.
You're still gonna have fixed costs though that are gonna drive the majority of this whole thing.
Oh, definitely.
If we had more rides, that cost per ride would go down. Yes, your cost would go up a tick, but you have fixed costs of having employees hired, managing vehicles, insurance and whatnot. Yeah, it might have more wear and tear, but you'll have just a tick more fuel for more rides in comparison. But on a per ride deal, it's just astronomical.
We talked about looking at so when people are scheduling, they know these are the 2 days you can go out for doctor's appointments, or these are the days, so that you're not pulling out another driver just for one person. It's even with the same call, we have to call on 2 different days. Are we pulling out another driver just to rotate one person to a doctor's appointment, maybe in the same town or maybe on the road? So that's what we're gonna start doing, is really saying, we have 1 driver this day, this is the day you can go, Tuesday, Thursday's doctor's appointments. Yeah, you're not cutting up the cost, but we're about the same, we covered about 9 months. And they didn't take our projected budget when they did the cut. They took fiscal year 26 budget and cut from the budget, what was spent, and cut from that. So that's what really hurt, and that's why they were more than 20%.
Yeah, and then I guess, would you be comfortable diving into where the cuts are coming into play from? The cuts in funding, I mean, yes, it's from federal and state grants, but primarily what is the cause of that? I know Sarah's letter was a little bit wishy-washy, but,
Yeah, it's
that
starting
was
out.
one of the letters that was included in your packet from Sarah. Sorry, I didn't have a name attached to it, but Sarah Sewell from the State Department of Transportation, sent out some information to Bob, at least that it was forwarded to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in your packet. It says the reduction in 5311 awards isn't due to a decrease in federal or state funds. Put it simply, NDOT receives an FTA apportionment for the 5311 and 5311 program annually. NDOT has no part in determining the apportionment amount received from FTA. And she goes on to talk about CARES funding that's no longer there.
But ultimately, we made a request, and the federal government's request came, or awards came in way below the request. And long story short is a shortage in federal funding towards these programs, is my interpretation of it, even though there's few people willing to say that. But yeah, that's where it's coming from.
So basically, we're gonna have two choices. One is to pony up the extra money or close the, service down.
That's my interpretation of it,
And
yep.
so based on the rides, right now, it'd be another $67,000, basically $70,000 we need to put into
Karen,
transit.
that's using our actual expenses right now for the first 10 months. of this
That's not
year.
assuming gas at $4.50 this morning that was on the board versus
it looks
$2.89 a year ago.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to dump maybe another 100,000 or more into this program to keep it going.
There's potential.
Yeah, okay.
See
Just
how the war
wanted to.
goes, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we won't be making
No,
that
well,
decision
excuse
today, but that's certainly
No,
important information to know.
But at what point is enough and is enough?
I was gonna say, in all seriousness though, with the timelines on everything, and budget planning, I mean, right now, the forecasted budget, if you will, from NDOT gets us 9 months of funding. We're good through the next 6 weeks through this budget year. And then, yes, if we were to decide to do this for the next, 9 months, you're not gonna be able to run service for 9 months, cause you got probably another 2 to 3 months in closing down the service, paperwork and things that need to be done. You also have to give our contractor at least a 90-day notice. to end the service or the contract, which was part of the agreement we agreed on. And we've currently got 2 buses on order that we would probably tell them to pump the brakes on or defer them to the next organization. There's a few more things that need to go on other than us just saying, okay, come late July after we've been operating for a month, oh wait, we can't do this. So I think realistically, we need to probably have a serious discussion today on what everybody's feelings are and give some direction at least for Bob to move forward with.
What is the number in our budget right now? Because we spent the money to get it started. and we took
What
that
was the
out.
actual number? 43,000 for this last year, including the bus match or something like that? Was it 48?
The first fiscal year,
This current fiscal year that we're in, what was our allocated local funds?
22,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds right.
But then we had some startup costs.
Oh yeah, we transferred in, I believe, the full amount for the first fiscal year, like 360,000 from the inheritance fund, if I'm not mistaken,
I think you're right.
to fully fund it because we were concerned about reimbursements. I would imagine with reimbursements being up to date, thanks to
Thank
NDOT
you. Yeah.
and Bob doing a hell of a job, we've been close to reimbursed, I think, within the last couple of months, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the county allotment for this fiscal year is $42,235. And right now, we're just a little bit underneath that. Through the first 10 months of the year, we're at 99.62% of that county budget.
Yeah.
So what we're paying now is basically about a third of what we're gonna be paying.
Mhm.
And I do. I hate to say it because I've advocated for this program because it does serve a lot of people. However, just from a financial standpoint, it's really not making sense to me as much as it did a year ago. It's not from a lack of people we got doing the program or anything like that, and it's just the nature of the beast. And with there being shortfalls, there are certain things that are going to have to be cut. And unfortunately, I don't see a way around transit surviving another full year at this point. It'd be my recommendation to move forward with transit operating with passenger service up through the end of calendar year 26, and then have approximately a 3-month wind down period to hopefully have things buttoned up by mid-March. Just to continue the service without having an abrupt stop here in the next 30 days.
Would it also be appropriate to have a motion to create a plan to do all that and come before the board in 2
Yeah.
weeks?
We can do that. I think Bob's halfway has.
There is a plan. We have to have a public hearing.
Yep.
Anytime you make any major changes, whether it's increased fares, decreased fares, change.
Service hours, yep.
You have to have a public hearing. And once that public hearing is held, then you guys can make a decision what you want to do.
Now, would this be the year ending or fiscal year?
I said calendar year is what I would suggest. It would be another partial budget year, where we could utilize the funds that are there. And it would be, comparable to what our local match was compared to doing a full year of funding where our local match would increase 3x.
I checked with Sarah in DOT, and we can utilize the entire budgeted amount.
In 4 months if you wanted to, yeah.
Whatever. There's no financial repercussions for us to use up our budget in a shorter period of time.
And they do cover the costs that are closing down for office hours and.
Yeah, the shutdown cost is covered as long as there's money for.
Yep.
Why don't you make a motion to
Set a public hearing.
well, we can't do that because it's not on the agenda.
Well, I didn't know with taking action from,
I think what I would suggest is in 2 weeks, come to forward with a full plan of what we need to do
Okay.
and place it on the agenda. Would that be okay, Bob?
Okay.
So Bob, do you think this is just, looking into your crystal ball, do you think this is just a bump in the road? Or do you think things are only gonna be getting
I don't know,
tougher?
Mary, in the 5 years I've been involved in this side of transportation, I've not seen anything like this. I don't know if
Okay, thank you guys for your time. At this time, I'd make a motion that we direct Bob to come up with a plan how to move forward in a partial year of service of Hall County Rural Transit and report back in 2 weeks.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Voting is open.
Okay.
Six
Thank you
yes
for everything
votes.
you've done,
Motion
Bob.
Thank you
carried.
guys so much. Bob will be in touch here in the next day or two. I'll give you a call. Thank you.
Okay, another item on the courthouse project, there's two things. There's a change order number 10 in CCP 22 and 27. One is a reduction of cost. I believe it's 72,000 if I remember right, and the increase is just a shade over 100,000. Basically, the reduction is the fact that we're not required now to put the railing extension on the old courthouse when we remodel it. There was originally a thought that that the city was going to require that from the building inspector. We've convinced them that it isn't necessary. The other item is the security. And Dune, you want to come up and maybe explain what the security on the fobs and for courthouse security, we're changing some of the controls in terms of the courtrooms and so forth.
Most of that change order, deals with the courtrooms. There's doors leading into and out of the courtroom that they don't want the public to have access to in and out of the courtroom. So they need to put some locks on them. It requires card readers, extra card readers, these doors most times have card readers on them. And that type of thing, so they had to change the hardware for it, except the card readers. Most likely, there's a couple other doors in the location.
Isn't there some delayed egress also?
Yes, there is a delay egress in the hallways going into from the public to the security area. You have to have egress, two egresses out of the building in order to do that. You can't have one that's completely locked. And so if there's a fire or active shooter or whatever, you've got two egresses to get out of the building, second, third, fourth. Which is, we already have it on the first floor, so.
Yeah, it was,
Special lock on there so that you got like a 10 or 15-second delay before the door opens. And they have that for now on the fire escapes that are going to be taken off from the courthouse, since they have a 15-second delay on those doors before they would open. They're trying to get out of that.
this was some work that was done in conjunction. We had a meeting, about a month and a half ago with all the judges, the court staff, the building inspector from Grand Island, and also the fire marshal, fire inspector, and hammered all through all that to make sure that it fit the needs of the courtroom, plus met the requirements of the building inspector. So, anyway, I would entertain a motion to approve the change order 10 and CCP 22 and 27.
I make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Okay, so it was Scott, excuse me, Scott and
Scott and Jane.
Scott and Jane, sorry. Okay. Voting is open. Six yes votes, motion, oops, sorry, apologize. I'll go ahead and wait, my colors come up. 4 yes, 2 no, motion carried.
Okay, thanks, Doom. Okay, let's go on
Anything
to,
else, Ed?
They bid
And that's bricking it back up too and everything, or they're just gonna go down to the brick?
They're gonna fix all the things, brick, concrete.
I'll make a motion, we accept the bid from Diamond Engineering for repairs to the handicap ramp at the administration building in the amount of $85,850.
And where's that coming out of, Dean?
Building and land.
Okay, I'd second that.
Voting is open. Six yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, number 17, we have a couple items there that we didn't put in consent, A and D. I think there's some questions as to whether all of those requests are necessary. Suggestion would be that maybe I appoint a committee of 3 to review them and check back with the organizations to see if there are any federal funds that are available to them that would not need the Keno money for that process. And maybe get back and report to us on the next meeting.
So you just want A and B?
A and D. The Keno, it's the Keno.
D as in dog.
Yep.
So it's the Keno Grants and the First Light Child Advocacy Center.
So we did get a formal request from First Light for the 26-27 budget.
Right, and they're gonna, what they're gonna do is check with them and see if they do have federal funding available that, because there are other counties apparently that aren't providing any funding this year.
They aren't requesting any additional funding from the counties for some other organizations that are very similar, because they had to make up from the federal government, or federal funds, excuse me.
So it may be that we'll approve it, we just need to get the information. So I would entertain a motion to appoint, for me to appoint a committee.
I'd make a motion that we have the chairman appoint a committee to review the Keno grant request and the request from the First Light Child Advocacy Center.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
Voting is open. Did you vote?
I did.
There we go. All right. 6 yes votes, motion carried.
And with that, I'd bounce down to number 25, and I'd make a motion that we approve regular claims minus the request from the First Light Child Advocacy Center.
Voting is open. Six yes votes, motion carried.
Gary, do you want to do number 30?
You know, we sat here as a board and we may have some heated discussion once in a while, but when something bad happens to one of us, we tend to have a little bit of compassion for each another, and with Steve Lancaster passing away, and Pam's been part of this board for quite some time and a dedicated member, the board decided that each of us would pitch in personally, and instead of buying flowers, we decided to buy an 11-foot maple tree. And we thought that maybe, it's kind of a living testimony to Steve Lancaster's service to his country. So next Monday, after the memorial service at the Veterans Memorial Park, Pam Lancaster and her family and any board members or the public that would like to be there, the park, they're going to be having a tree planting ceremony out there. It's an 11-foot red maple, and they were talking about somewhere possibly putting a bunch more in or whatever in that, but the park wants to, a lot of the trees are getting older, and we had the disease that was killing off a lot of them, and there's dead parts in some of the trees. They'd like to get some type of a program where if somebody wants to dedicate a tree to their family member that was a veteran, that they would be able to do this. But next Monday after at 12:15, there'll be a tree planting ceremony out at the Veterans Memorial Park. And I'll move that the Hall County Board allow a tree, 11-foot maple tree be planted in Steve Lancaster's honor.
I'll second. Voting is open. Six yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, committee or board member reports. Anything there that needs to be?
The only thing I had was on the Gunther Road, and we took care of that. They did say that this project for the hotel, when this is completed, will be, you know, it's like a $40 million project out there. So this is going to be good. Sterling Estates will have another, and that's over on Capitol Avenue, the apartments, they're going to build another, I think it's 120 units. And then they're going to do they did not pass the single unit family duplexes that were in Sterling. That did get defeated at the Planning Commission. The only other thing is I sit on a CHI St. Francis board, and I thought this was really good information. St. Francis is putting in a bereavement room for their maternity ward. It's going to be on a different floor, so if someone does lose a child in delivery, they won't have to be on that floor and they won't hear the chimes, but a lot of times you have to stay for a while, and so this will be a room with a large king-size bed and have it more like a house, and it's going to be secluded so the families can gather in that room and not be on the same floor. So I thought that was interesting. So that concludes my reports.
Anybody else have anything? If not, I would entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Mr.
We
Chairman,
have-
I'd make a motion that we go into closed session under Board of Commissioners for number 20 regarding union negotiations, and under the Board of Equalization for number 5, the Wood River Great Plains ethanol plant litigation. And invite Mayor Kramer to stay back for the BOE. And David.
Voting is open. Six yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, do we need? All right, we have a motion.
I move we go out of executive session.
Closed session.
Closed session.
Okay, voting is open. Six yes votes, motion carried.
Okay, coming out of closed session, we have not discussed any subject other than the purpose of the closed session. No votes were taken, no action was taken, and there is no action to be taken out of closed session. Is there any other items to be brought before the board today? I will make that decision shortly. I think probably maybe Karen and, huh?
I can't this week.
Okay. Karen, Scott, and Bush, can you guys do that? Just check on that? On determining what the federal funding is on some of those other,
The Keno grant applications in Willow Rising.
We can do them all or just,
all of
We're
them.
gonna do all the Kenos and then Willow.
Okay, all right, we are adjourned.